And we're live. How you doing, Toya?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you this wonderful morning.
Well, it's good to see you as well.
It's kind of quasi-afternoon morning. In between there, noon's always,
Mid-morning.
it always throws me off, right? Noon, is it really day? Is it PM? I mean, is it AM? I don't know.
Mid-morning.
Mid-morning. We'll take that. So, Latoya, today we're going to be talking about the process. We have done some shows, but we're going to get more consistent. We're going to do this every single Monday. We've changed the day. And we've actually changed the time to what time, Latoya?
Noon.
The day, afternoon, whatever you want to call it type
Ish.
thing. There you go. Ish. That works. Or as Latoya always says, however, comma. So, Latoya, tell me about yourself. How you doing today? Talk to him, man. Don't be shy.
Well, I'm Latoya Williams. I am a realtor in the DFW area. I've been doing this for about 6 years. I love what I do. I have a passion for it. And I just love to see people helping people with their biggest investment, one of their biggest investments anyway.
Which would be what?
Buying a home.
Hey, and the DFW market's been crazy, man. I mean, what have you seen so far in the market?
It's been changing. It's a seller's market. It's a buyer's market. It's this, it's that. It's ever changing.
It's this, it's that. Come on now. For me so far, what I've seen is it's in a lot of locations in the DFW, it's a seller's market. We have a major inventory shortage in the DFW area, and you've got a lot more corporations moving in. And so you're seeing it's harder, especially when I have buyers, to put a contract in and actually get accepted. I mean, people are going really aggressive. I mean, they're writing contracts before they even see homes.
Yes.
I see that on the listing side too. Whenever I put a home in the market, I'm getting contracts before somebody even steps in the door.
Yeah.
So in what areas have you seen it to be a buyer's market? What areas have you seen it to be a seller's market?
Mostly the southwest areas, the Saginaw areas, which is North Fort Worth, the east part of Fort Worth. It's a seller's market. There are seller's markets now. Even Mansfield area, Kennedale.
Arlington's crazy.
Yeah,
and we haven't even touched on Collin County. I said Collins. Collin County is crazy too. You can't get anything. I mean, Frisco. Whoo, there's a house in Frisco. You get about 20 contracts in no time.
Yeah.
So what are we going to talk about today, Latoya?
We're going to talk about the process, just an overview, just hit a couple of high points, and then as the show progresses, then we'll get into finding a certain area and focus on that. But right now, it's just an overview of the process period.
And on this show, we will have invited guests. We will have a mortgage company come in and talk to you about, what they see in the financial world at this moment. Talk to you about certain lending options that are available at the time. Because,
Yes.
that thing's always changing. I mean, good God, every time I turn around, there's a new program coming out or one that's been kicked out. Right?
Definitely.
So we thought it good best that you heard it from their mouth. So we specialize in real estate. Not all aspects of real estate, but real estate in general. We like to let the other professionals talk about what they do. And we also have a title company coming in. Why would that be important?
That would be important because you need to know what you need to have as far as title insurance. What is title insurance? Do you need it? Do you have to have it? Yes. So all of those things are things set in place to protect you, to protect your investment, your money. So we need to know what title does.
Exactly. And then we're also going to bring in an inspector. I think the inspection is probably the one that confuses people the most. I'm this inspector, which I think it's one of the most important parts of the puzzle.
Absolutely. The inspection is the thing that's going to tell you what's what with the home, the bones, the foundation, the this, the that, the roof. And it's going to be pretty lengthy. It's going to tell you everything from the nicks in the wall to the sockets upside down to everything concerning the home. If one shingle is off or broken or flew away or just anything, electrical, plumbing, all the things you need to know about the home before you take it into possession.
And let me say this now. Let me preface this now. It's going to be long, but not everything is a deal breaker. You are buying a used home. Let me repeat that. We're actually talking about if this is a used home. I should say that. Because then if it's a new home, it's a different inspection process, and typically the builder is going to fix everything before you move it anyway. Yes. It's a little bit different. We like to call it the blue tape special. Remember that blue tape on the wall everywhere?
Oh, jeez.
But when we're talking about a used home, it's like a used car. It is used, so there will be flaws, but what I care about are the bones. Are the bones sound? If the bones aren't sound, what are we doing buying this home, right?
Right.
All right. Well, let's dive right in. We did want to let you guys know what's coming up. It's always good to know what's coming up, right? But let's talk about today the process.
Yes.
And I want to dive in on the buy side, and we're going to come to the sell side here in a second. So, what would you say is the number one thing somebody should do before they buy a home, Toya?
Before you buy a home, you should speak with a loan officer. You should be pre-approved. That way you can go over your finances, your credit. How much do you have in your savings, your budget? What do you want to spend monthly? All of those things factor in your taxes, everything concerning your income that comes in, whether you have your own business, 9 to 5, whatever it is. So,
what do you mean? You saying I shouldn't just go on Zillow or Trulia and look for a home before I go get qualified?
absolutely not.
Why not? I see it every day. Like I'm on my computer and I'm looking at something, and Zillow pops up with this advertisement telling me I can find my new home.
Well, the problem with Zillow is they give you everything is not accurate on there. So you need your real estate professionals, us, to walk you through the process. And the best thing to do first is to get a pre-approval.
Now, let me preface this by saying nobody's knocking Zillow. I think Zillow has helped the market in ways. It's hurt it and helped it, but in a lot of ways, it gives you access to seeing properties. So we're never going to knock that at all. And they're very good at helping us realtors out too. So but let's preface that by saying what she said is very accurate. They're not always accurate. Now they do their best.
Yes.
And I also see that they're behind sometimes. Like if the home is off the market, it takes a little time for them to put that on Zillow. So don't always look at Zillow as the end all tell all. Another thing that I've learned is it only gives a certain amount of detail. I had a client of mine who called me and he's like, James, I want to put an offer on this house. Then I go into my portal and I'm like, wait a minute, it's cash only. Do you have $120,000 cash? He said, well, no, I. So Zillow only gives you a certain amount of information. It doesn't give you all the information you need. That's why it's very, very, very advantageous to you to find a real estate professional to help you.
Yes. And so I just have my clients, if you do look on Zillow, just let us cross-reference it.
Exactly.
That's all.
And we do understand your excitement. I mean, this is your first home. I mean, or it could be your second, but any way you look at it, buying a home is a very big investment.
Yes,
so we totally understand that you want to be involved. But let us do our job. Our job is to protect you and find you the best deal every time. Do you agree?
I agree. I love my job. So let me look at houses for you. And a lot of times I can kind of see what you can't see and give you just more information on it. As far as what, like James said, the cash only thing. Are you VA? Are you conventional? Are you FHA? Will this home accept those things?
Exactly. And those terms we're going to go into next show when we have our mortgage broker on here.
Yeah.
But each one of those have different qualifications for getting a home. So you got to remember, if they're lending the money, they dictate the terms. If the house doesn't fit into their terms, you can't close on it. It's that simple. And the seller dictates which financial options he's willing to take. It's that simple. They're selling it. They have the power to do that.
Absolutely.
So let's go back into the start of this program. You said readiness. You said budget. You said get pre-approved. What do you mean by readiness? Let's define that term. What do they need to do to get ready before they even go to a mortgage broker? What should they have ready before they step into the door?
Where are you right now in life? Are you prepared to buy a home? Do you have your savings? Do you have savings? Are you in a lease? Do you have so many months in a lease? Did you just sign a lease? All of those things factor in. Did you just start a job? Are you going to change jobs? So you have to be ready, be in a space where you're ready to commit for 30 to 45 days, I'll say.
Exactly.
Stay put, don't blink.
Exactly. And here's some tips I would say. Let's have your paychecks ready, pay stubs ready. Anytime you're loan for anything, they want to see pay stubs. About how many months would you say they should have a pay stubs ready to go?
I would say at least 2 months of paycheck stubs ready.
Okay. And if you have your tax return, we're in the middle. We're in the middle right now. So some do, some don't. It's very, very advantageous to have that ready to go also.
Absolutely. That is one of the key factors. What does your tax return say? Because if your tax return says something different than what your check stubs say, then there could be an issue. Not all the time, but it could be. So that's the most important thing to have in addition to the bank statements.
I would say another thing that I would say to have ready at all times when getting a new home and walking to a bank, have your job history ready. Let them know how long you've been at your job.
Yes.
Longevity is what they like the most. So make sure that if you've been in the job for a long time, have that information ready for them. And another big one is savings. If you have savings, it behooves you to have either a bank statement when you walk in, because they're going to ask these questions. So let's get you to when you walk in, they say you know what you're doing, and the process works a lot smoother. Is there anything else you think they should have before they walked in to talk to a mortgage broker?
I would say if you another thing that people don't know, that your 401k is there for you to use for home buying. That's probably one of the best things you can use it for. So if you have 401k, that can count towards your savings and the process of it. The reserves.
Okay.
So that's another thing that we'll probably get into during the process when we speak with the loan officer as well. So you'll just have to come back.
And then credit score. Not everybody knows. I think they still give the one free credit score a year. They still do that.
I think it's every quarter.
Every quarter. Oh, every quarter. I don't know about
Is
quarter. Hey, that's
Three
nice.
times-
Hey,
three times a
other
year?
lady. But I don't know if that's the case. That's cool. But if you don't know your credit score, which not everybody walks around. I like that commercial where the guy had his number on his head. Not everybody knows that.
No.
But the one person that can pull that for you is your mortgage broker. So if you don't have that, but you have everything else, come prepared. They'll pull it. They'll let you know where you stand, and then you can move forward in the process. But if you do know it, it behooves you to bring it with you.
Yes. Now, please don't. If you've bought a car in the last few months and they've told you your credit score is this, please understand that the car's credit scores are a little bit different from the home credit scores. So you do need to have your credit score pulled again to get a more accurate view of what it is concerning the home buying process.
Very good. Good man. Mortgage broker. They've talked to the mortgage broker, and they get that wonderful pre-approval letter.
Yay!
And that's a big step. I mean,
Yeah.
Not everybody will be pre-approved, but before we go forward, if you aren't, they're going to give you steps to help you to get a home. I like to have a program called 0 to 365, which means in 1 year's time, we have a program that will get you into a new home. For most people, I always preface for most people. And the mortgage broker will let you know what you need to do, and we will team you up with people to help you do what you need to do to get you in that home within a year.
Absolutely.
So it's never going to be a no forever, right?
No.
We just have to do some work to get you to where you need to be.
Yes.
So let's go with the people who have just got that letter. Whoa, yes.
Ooh,
Hey.
yes.
Hey,
Let's go. Show me how.
And show it to me. So what would you think they need to take into consideration before they even go to find a new home?
I would say locking down your area is most important, because if you call me and say, okay, I want a 4-bedroom house with 2-car garage in Fort Worth, I'm going to pull up
Fort Worth's big.
100,000 houses.
Yeah, Fort Worth is pretty large.
So we need to narrow it down to area. What's important to you area-wise? Are you looking at schools, your job? You want to be close to your job, your family? You want to be close to no one? Do you want to be far, far away? So all
You want
of
to be
those
close
things.
to Texas Motor Speedway, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, you
NASCAR.
may want to.
Hey.
What's up and coming? So what's important to you? What area-wise? Because you're going to be here forever, which is what, 5 to 7 years?
Hey, the mortgage means still death, right? So, hey, another thing, if you have kids, you should also probably look at schools, right?
Yes, schools, work, family.
School districts is very big. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some, I love my state of Texas, but there's some not so good school districts. But, schools might be something you want to take into consideration. You're right. Work. Do you want to be close to work? Do you want to be far away from work? My dad, when I was young, lived an hour away from this job, and I never got it. And then one day he said, I live an hour away from my job because I want them to call me in. I'm like, that makes perfect sense, right?
That makes sense.
So everybody has what they want. Look, I literally live 2 blocks away from a company that I have. And I like that. I can walk to my company. I can walk home. But everybody has their own idea of what they consider comfort level. So before you go out, sit down and have this conversation. And I love that Latoya brought in family. This is a family decision in most cases. Y'all have that meeting first. I have seen nightmares where you're sitting down, I want to live here, and I want to have that meeting first.
Yes. I mean, and another aspect of the family part of it is, do you want to live close to your parents? Whether you help them or they help you, sometimes it's good to live close to family. And then there are the other ideas of family where you kind of want to just get away.
Stay away.
So, those are things to think about.
But have that meeting first, because I think the one thing that we aren't, we're not Dr. Phil.
No. No.
You know,
I tried it.
I'm not your counselor.
I tried it.
My job is to give you all the information you need to make an educated buying decision. That's what I'm going to do in this scenario. As the buyer representation, I'm going to give you all the information you need to make an educated buyer decision, and then I'm going to negotiate the best deal for you every time. That's my job.
Yes.
Now, I can't be in the middle of, well, I want 4 bedrooms, I want 3 bedrooms. It's best that you have that conversation, know what you want, and we could, and don't mind you, we can even go with 3 bedroom and a den, 3 bedroom and study. Right? Oh. There's always going to be ways that we can find you exactly what you want, but you have to know what you want before we go. I mean, absolutely. We're actually going to do a video series called "Know Before You Go," and we're gonna preface those things for you, so you know all these things before you even go out there and look. Because there's this little trolley. I don't know if you heard of Molly the Trolley in downtown Fort Worth.
Yes.
And it gives a tour of downtown Fort Worth, and it's free. Molly the Trolley. Me personally, in this business, we're not Molly the Trolley. What we are, we're gonna narrow down your search to save you time and hassle to finding the home you want. Rapid scenario. What we don't want to do, and what we don't want you doing, is taking a tour of BFW. It's a beautiful city.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love my city. Right? However, I'm not Molly the Trolley.
Real estate is fun. I tell you, you see everything, right? Like every real estate agent can tell you stories because you've seen it all. Once you've seen one client, you've seen another client, who's seen another client, and it's beautiful
and different. And
I do understand the emotion. This is an emotional buy, right? And I think that's the one good reason you get a realtor also. It is emotional to us. We do care about the deal, right?
Yes.
I feel like Donald Trump right now, the art of the deal. We care about the deal. So hey, be careful there. So our job when you hire us is for us to do all that hard work, take all those calls, negotiate this deal for you. Make sure you're in a good place before you move in. Let us take that hassle off of you.
Yes.
All right, so now let's say you've gone out, Latoya, and you were lucky. You were one of the lucky ones in this buyer's market. On the first go around, you went out there, you put your contract in, and it was accepted. Celebration!
All right.
Celebration!
Yay!
All right, so there's something that comes with that, though. We have to write a contract.
Yes.
All right, let's talk a little about the contract. What I want to do here is preface the key points that affect the deal. The key points that most people ask us when we are buyers representatives. Let's touch base on those because it's a big contract. What, it's 13 pages?
Yeah.
So we could do a 3-hour show on this. I mean, heck, we take classes on this contract.
Oh, yes.
8 hours.
And we still need classes months after. So I still can't tell you every single paragraph in there. But I know what needs to, I know the important stuff.
Okay.
The most important, I'll say that.
So let's start with there. Let's start with the first part. I know that really comes up for question is where it says the sales portion in the contract, and it gives 3 different numbers. It gives a total number, a cash portion number, and it gives a finance portion number. Explain a little bit how that works.
The sales portion is the final sale. The cash portion is your down payment, the 3.5%. Now, understand that your down payment and closing costs
could be 3.5%. I'm sorry to cut her off.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're so right. It could be 3.5%. It could be 0.
It could be more.
It could be 5%. It could be more. But depending on what your loan officer says and what program you're going with, this will be your quote unquote cash portion.
Okay. And people ask, well, when I put this cash down, where does it go?
It goes towards the down payment of your home. It's your down payment.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, the next thing I see that jogs people's mind is there's this statement about escrow and where this escrow money is. So why don't we define what escrow is? For those who don't know, some will know, some won't. So let's define this escrow thing. What is this thing that I have seen, but I have never heard?
Escrow, also known as earnest money, is the money that you put down to show, hey, I'm earnest. I want to buy this home. I'm interested. I'm so interested that I'm going to put this money towards the home for the title company to hold later to make sure you know that I'm interested in buying this home.
For us on the listing side, for me, it's like your security deposit.
Yeah.
if I'm going to take this house off the market in a seller's market, and let me repeat that, in a seller's market, I need to know that you're really going to buy this home. And I need to know that if you default in any way, that I'm going to be able to recoup some damages from you. So the earnest money is huge to both parties. One, it shows us, as Latoya just said, it shows good faith for you, for a listing agent, and for the seller. It shows us that you I mean, it's security. It's security for us that you will go through this deal. If you're going to put up money for it, you're going to go through this deal. Correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. Then I scan down a little bit more, and I know the next thing that comes up is the option contract. And no, I did not have a contract in front of me. Latoya, can you preface that? There's no contracts in front of me. I'm just used to these questions.
No contract in front of him.
So the next one that comes into play that I know, I'm going to go with the money part. We'll get back to survey. The next one, now we have a contract in front of us. The next one that comes into play is the option money. So let's talk about the option money.
Option money is to also just kind of, in a sense, you're paying for the home to be off the market for 7 to 10 days. Depending on how your agent negotiates it. You have 7 to 10 days to figure out if you really want to buy this home. That's when you do your inspections. You get contractors out to look at the property. If it comes to the contract part, you may get an inspection and you may say, hey, this is a good home. You may look at it and it may say, like I had a contract on one of my listings last week and it had 2 shingles that were damaged. The toilet was leaking. But those are all things that were put into, we negotiated during the option period. The option fee can be anywhere from $50 to $100. It could be $500. But this is money that if your agent checks the correct box, it's credited back to you at closing to if you close. This is money that you give to the sellers to buy the home off the market for this period of time.
Rent it. So here's what I would say to this. I always listen to my clients on both sides. The earnest money is for protection of the seller, where the option money is for the protection of the buyer, right? Because when you sign a contract, you sign it as is.
Yes.
As is, majority of the time. Now, sometimes there's certain things you'll have listed, and there's a whole section of contract for that. But let's just go with, I can't speak for everybody, but my experience, 99% of the time, it's been as is. How about you?
Yes, it's as is.
Okay, so that option period gives you a chance to see what exactly is as is. As is, when you look at it one way, might be, hey, there might be a little leak. But then when you take a bigger look with an inspection, the pipes are busted underneath the house. The cost of fixing that might be, let's say, $5,000. But if that's happened, then foundation's gonna be an issue too. Let's say the cost, that's another $5,000. Then you keep adding up. All of a sudden, as is doesn't look as nice.
No.
So the only thing I'm going to give up now is my option money. So let's say the option money was $100. Now I forfeit $100 to walk away over losing my earnest money later on down the line in an as-is contract on option period. That's the one big thing about that. It protects, for me, the option period protects your earnest money. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
It protects your earnest money.
So you test driving, that option period is almost like you test driving that home. If you want to put it in car terms, you're test driving it. Exactly. You want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth before you actually buy.
Exactly. And isn't that nice to know? I think it's comforting to know that, you don't have to rush. Look, I've seen 10-day options, 15-day options, You don't have to rush into a full commitment, Like I know you test drive a car, you got to bring it back tomorrow. They want it tomorrow. This gives you time to really kick the tires, really take a look at this home and see what you're buying.
Yes.
All right. So the next money portion that I see, and right now I'm only talking about the ones that cost money, and we'll go back to other ones that I hear people ask for, there's the
residential
contract, service contract. Yes,
residential service contracts, the home warranties.
The home warranties, and I get this one a lot. So let's talk a little about this. And by the way, we will have a home warranty company on this show to talk to you about how that warranty works and what it protects. Does it protect foundation? No. We definitely will have one on here so they can talk a bit more and tell you more about what they do. But for this scenario, in this situation, we just want to talk about the cost association, who pays, and why. Latoya.
Well, the residential service contract, that's where if I'm a buyer's agent, I'm asking the seller to pay for a 1-year residential service contract. It may cover a leaky faucet. It may cover your hot water heater, your servicing the AC, things of that nature. If something happens, even electrical, dishwashers, all of these things that you don't have for immediately after you buy the home. You have a year, and it's almost like renting a maintenance man for a year. Now, there are costs associated with it afterwards, even though the seller pays for it up front, but there may be a service fee, maybe $60, or maybe instead of you paying $2,000 for a new hot water heater, you're only paying $500 with this service contract. And another thing that buyers don't know and should do, which I prep my clients on, you should renew it every year. It's $400, $500, maybe $600, depending on what you add to it. That helps along the way, so you won't have to dish out thousands of dollars. It may be just hundreds, which is still winning. So
who typically pays for that?
The seller pays for. I ask for the seller to pay for the contract for a year.
So let's go here. Because I just had a deal that closed, and so that was a friend, and she said, "Well, why am I paying for this warranty?" And I like that she said that, and I thought about it, and I sat back and really thought about it, and I said to myself, I don't know why, and it took me a while. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a day to come up with this formulation. When you sell something, when a company sells something, what do they typically give?
Warranty.
Exactly. You have just sold this home. We're selling this home to you. So we're going to give you a warranty for some things that may break. Why wouldn't we? Because you bought this home. So typically it is the seller's going to pay for it. I've not seen a scenario where the buyer pays for it.
No.
I think it's a beautiful thing. And at first I argue that same thing. Like, why should the seller have to pay for this warranty? But it makes sense. They're selling the home.
Yeah.
And they range. I've seen some as low as $250 up to $800. And I've seen them all. And each one covers different things. Like I said, we're going to have a company come on here and tell you exactly what they cover, what they do. I mean, as I always say, my job, I'm a specialist in certain things. I'm not a specialist on warranties. So I'd rather have that specialist come and tell you exactly how it works, exactly what it covers.
Yes.
All right. So that's the main money things that I hear the most in contracts. But another question that I get asked a lot is on this survey. The survey. What is a survey? Who is supposed to provide the survey? And who pays for the survey? And it's kind of a trick question because with every single one of these scenarios, there is a scenario, right? Somebody else, the buyer can pay for it, the seller can pay for it. You can use an old one. I mean, there's so many different options, but just in a little bit to preface and give them an idea what the survey is, what it does, and how it works in the sales contract.
Well, the survey it shows where your property line starts, where it ends, where you can put your fence line, where your fence line is, if you have a fence, all of these things. So it just tells you where the city line starts. It just gives
easements
you
too. Don't worry about the easements.
Oh yeah, the easements. Yeah, where you can put your fence line, where you shouldn't, all of the easements and everything.
And let me explain an easement. An easement's pretty much telling you, let's say you have an electrical easement. Right, that means there's electrical wire underneath there. You don't want to dig down and cut the electrical wire. It might be a shocking experience for you, so you might not want to do that. And the city ain't going to be too happy when they come out to see you.
Nope, because they already told you in the survey.
They already told you. So, and where does that come into play? Where is that important? When people want to build pools, I've seen that where there was an easement in the middle of the yard. It was crazy, in the middle of the yard, and they wanted to build a pool, and they couldn't because of that easement.
Wow.
And you don't see that too often, but that was more in a rural situation. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, but a survey is very important. And if you're getting a loan, a government loan, conventional, most of these programs require you to have a survey.
Absolutely.
If you're doing cash, then that's something totally different.
Absolutely.
You can opt in or out of that. But when you're buying a home and you're getting a loan, then you need to have a survey.
Okay. And mind you, I am going. If you notice, I went from up down on money, and I'm going from down up. So another one that I see them ask for a lot is, what's this title policy? Why do I need a title policy? What does that cover? And then who's typically going to pay for that? Typically, and the key word here, we're always using typical usual, but things change. Real estate is
All the
not
time.
all one size fits all. There is
No,
no
it's not.
equilibrium in real estate. It does not exist. And if you can find me the client that is the same like the other client, like the other client, the other client, I'll sign up with that group.
I yet to have the same thing in anything. Yet to. Title policy is to protect the investment of. It protects you. It protects the investment of the bank, which is the home. So title policy says, okay, there are no liens on this property. Nobody else owns it. Nobody can come back and say, hey, this is mine. Because why? You have title insurance. So the title policy is there to ensure that there is nothing or anyone can come back and take this property away from you.
The term we use is there's no cloud on the title.
Yeah.
The dark cloud on the title, right? And you want that. I mean, what's to say one day you wake up, someone knocks on the door and says, hey, I inherited this home from my grandmother, and you're in it. And now you're arguing who's trespassing, who's the rightful owner. That's why you have title. What title company does is they go back in the history of time to see who's owned the property and the chain. They call it the chain of title. The chain is how it's passed on. So let's say Latoya's grandmother passed to Latoya tells it to me, and then I give it to my son. Each time we have put down on title a new registration of the person who owns that property.
And it's recorded.
And it's recorded in the state and city.
Yes.
And this is very important because at any point in time, somebody can knock on your door and say, this is my home. And with that title, that ends all, tells all, correct?
That's it.
So those are the points of the contract I see the most. And I know I get asked this very few times, but people ask me why do I put residential use. There's a box that says purpose of use in the contract. And we always write in residential.
Mm-hmm.
All right? There's a reason for that. The city is zoned. They're zoned for specific use. So you can't take your house and turn it into a Chuck E. Cheese because the purpose of the home that you're buying is for residential use.
Yeah. Who wants to see a big rat in the house anyway?
This is the hippopotamus playing the piano. I mean, it's been so long. So, I tell my kids, but they're electronic. When I was around, they were all puppets and they were, in their little costumes.
Hey, now Chuck E. Cheese is walking around with tickets making it rain.
Come on,
I'm
man,
serious.
I never got any of that, man. Yeah. You got to work hard to get a ticket.
Chucky's doing the Cupid Shuffle now.
What? And what I hate about Chuck E. Cheese now is when I was a kid, there were all these little rides. Now it's just about video games. I'm like, come on, man, where are the rides at? The hippopotamus that would go around in the circle. You're like, Chucky!
That was before me. So.
Whoa, here we go.
That's probably Showbiz Pizza.
Come on, Showbiz Pizza was good too. Showbiz was good too. Yeah. Showbiz didn't last too long, but they're still in business. It's not in Texas. So, and Chucky's headquarters in here. But anyway, man, we went way off topic.
We did. But it's fun now.
And we have fun. This show will be fun. We're going to talk. Like I said, eventually we'll be able to call in and ask questions. Look, we are real estate gurus. I don't claim to be. Do you claim to be?
No.
All right. But we will give you the best answer that we can give you. And if we don't know, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
I like to bring specialists on this show because, as I said, they specialize in what they do. I want people to be on this show who wake up every day and do the same thing. They're not slash. I'm this and I'm this and I'm this. I want people who do the specific task or duty that we have in real estate to come on here and educate you guys on the real estate process in their eyes and in their functionality in this process.
Yes, we're timers.
For us, we're going to give you what we see. Like I said, Latoya is more of a buyer representative. She really loves still buyers. I myself love listing. I love listing one because I own a small marketing firm, and that's what we do. We love to market. So marketing a home is, for us, it's a little bit easier. We have a system. We have an infrastructure we built, and it's fun working with listing, or excuse me, with selling clients because it's fun. I can't preface it enough how fun it is for us to show them things we're going to do and little social media tricks we use.
Mm-hmm.
All of it's fun. Real estate in general is fun. The purpose for this show, though, is to help you guys throughout the whole process. Our whole idea of forming this show was that there really wasn't a show like this online in the local DFW area. So we came up with it. Latoya, you up? My co-host got so quiet.
I'm just letting you talk. You were doing so awesome. It's like, yeah, what he said. It's like everything he said. But yeah, I have a niche with the buyers. I like working with buyers. I can really hone in and kind of identify exactly what you're looking for by pictures, by going out. I just kind of have a niche for it. I've been known to have someone under contract, have a conversation with them on a Tuesday, and the following Tuesday, we're under contract.
There you go.
So I have a niche with the buyers. I love doing it. I can honestly say I love my job.
Hey, I love it. It's definitely interesting, and it's a new story every day. There's nothing boring about real estate. I can tell you right.
It's not boring.
You see it
one
all.
way or another.
Oh my goodness,
it's not.
You're going to see it all. But we want you all to stay tuned. So like I said, today we did a little bit about the buyer. Next week we'll do something about the selling. I'm also going to invite a special guest on the mortgage side to talk on the show. We're really excited about this. This is a labor of love for us. We'll do this every single week, Monday at noon. We want you guys to stay tuned. And also, you guys can email us. We will have all this on our profile. You can email us a topic, and we will bring it up on the show.
Yes.
Or we can even call that specialist on the show to talk while we're doing it live. This show is for you. More than it is for us, it is for you. So don't be shy. Send in your questions. Email us. You can call into the show. It's called the Real Estate Hour with Toya and James. I took the back seat. It's the Toya show. I'm just the small guy on the totem pole. But anyway.
Oh, here we go.
We're just happy that you guys are tuning in. Keep tuning in. We'll have some great things coming up. Latoya, anything else you want to say then before we sign off?
Just keep listening. I'm pretty sure you'll take something away, and call us. We are here to help.
That's your outro?
Boom.
Thank y'all so much. By the week at noon, have a wonderful day.
Be awesome.